Okay guys, so I don't even know how to start this video, but I'm just going to go ahead and move forward with it. I haven't come across my timeline how creators deal with grief and or the loss of a loved one. And that's something that I am dealing with right now as a postpartum mama, as a mother to a 9-month-old and 2 teenagers, as a growing fitness coach, creator, sister, daughter, friend, navigating grief and the loss of a loved one while life continues to move on. So recently, May 14th, we, my family, lost our mother, Mami. My daughters lost their abuela. My best friend and co-parent lost his mother. My brothers-in-law lost their mom. Family lost a loved one. And that has been a challenge to deal with at times when it comes to moving forward. Everyone deals with grief differently. One of the things that I noticed about myself is feeling guilty about moving forward. So let me explain. I share a lot of my life on my social media platform. I share motherhood content, I share fitness content, I share nutrition content, I share lifestyle content, just about, I've created a small community around the things that have helped me grow and heal as a woman, as a creator, as a mother. And I share so much of my life and do that with the intent to inspire and encourage other women who have similar stories. Recently, I have felt guilty to post, or survivor's guilt. And it doesn't just pertain to social media. I haven't researched this. I don't have a solution. I may not have the right words or verbiage to express this, because this is the first time I've ever done something like this and been like open and vulnerable in this way. I don't see creators talking about moving forward and grieving, because for me it has stopped me in my tracks. If I move forward in a way, to me it feels like I'm moving further away from her memory. Even though her memory is with us, it feels like I'm moving too fast from the situation when life is already moving fast itself. I shared her memories, some memories of her here. I stopped posting for a while until those major events that I had with my son turning 9 months and my daughter going to her first formal and my oldest daughter having a big showcase. But outside of that, I haven't posted because it felt guilty moving forward too fast. And some people are like that. I guess that's a coping mechanism, like just keep moving with life. But for me, it was like, I wasn't ready for that. Me not sharing or posting in a way in the midst of lifing was also me pausing to let her memorial breathe. The small fragment and memories that I shared here on social media was to let that breathe for a little bit, because I felt like if I share, I still feel like that. If I share, it's moving further away from her not being with us. So while life is moving on, we're all grieving and dealing with the loss and transition of her from physical to not being here anymore. We're dealing with it differently. So yeah, while I've been creating and momming and living, I have not been posting because of that. And I know for a fact that that's grief, and that's one of the many ways I am dealing with it. And it's just one of the ways that, for me personally, I have I guess just not wanting to move so far away from it so fast, as if she didn't have such a huge impact on my life, on the life of my daughters. Like motherhood, she made motherhood for me easy. You know, I didn't have to question anything. And the only thing that separated us was that she didn't birth me herself. And I can't thank her enough for all the love and support she's poured into me. She poured into me, my daughters, you know, my marriage at the time, and just still, like, her love was consistent. She had the fruits of the Spirit, the embodiment, full embodiment of it. You know, and she was a grandparent. She, abuela, you know. Of course, parents, all parents, in-laws or blood, do things as grandparents that are in opposition of the parents, but what grandparent doesn't? But outside of that, like, she was just an amazing woman. And I'm going to miss her. My daughters miss her. Her sons miss her. And we're all dealing and grieving and processing this individually in our own ways. I feel like it hits me most in those quiet moments. I do ride with a picture of her in my car. So yeah, grief in the midst of dealing with life. Grief. Just how do we deal with that? Do you guys pause? Do you become still? Because for me, in those moments, in the quiet moments, in the in-between spaces, is where I find myself thinking about her the most. I can be having a conversation with my daughters, and I could either hear my mom's voice, perceive what she would say. For instance, like while I was doing my daughter's hair, getting her ready for her dinner dance, it's like, you know, I was having a conversation with her in my head. And I was like, Mommy, like so we had a thing where she would detangle my daughter's hair, right? Because she thought I was too rough. So in her accent, she would be like, shut up, you're too rough on the girl's head. Calm down, like, I got it, Mama. So she would do their hair. She would actually detangle their hair for me because she thought I was too rough. And that's fine. That was just one less thing I had to worry about. It got to a point as they got older that I had absolutely no problem letting that task be hers. And as I was doing Olivia's hair, I had a conversation with her saying, like, Mommy, look at this new blow dryer I invested in. I got it off TikTok shop. It detangles her hair easy. I was having a conversation with her in my head as if she was there watching me prepare my youngest daughter for her dinner dance. And that's something that she would have been there for. She would have been a part of. She would have been proud of. When it came to like looking for dresses, she would have been there for. When it came to alterations, so Olivia ended up getting a second dress, and that was because the first one needed alterations that came to like $300, and that was 4 times the amount of the original dress that she got. And if my mother-in-law was here, she would have been able to do that. So it's like little things like that. And or when I was doing Brielle's hair and detangling it and defining her curls and preparing her for her showcase that later that same night that Olivia was having her dinner dance, like she would have been there, my mom would have been there, she would have been proud of her and happy for her. And so there's just different things that pop in and out of my mind in the quiet spaces. And so that's one of the reasons why, I just want to, I guess, I don't know. In other words, I'm just allowing myself to be there. While I know she would also want me to move forward with life, because my goal is to create and put myself in position and in a space where I'm a full entrepreneur. She knew that was my goal, was to work for myself, have control over my own schedule, my own time, take care of my family. She knew those things, so I know she would want me to. She knows that, and she knows that this is my style of my style of sharing, with the intent and goal to, one, help others, but also generate an income around this whole thing, however that happens. So I know she would want me to, but I still feel guilty about it. And I talked to my best friend, my co-parent, about things like this, because he's processing it and deals with it in his own way too. And I talked to my daughters about it, and everybody has their moments where we're fine. We're all fine, but then we also go back to these moments of where we've had such a routine over the last 20 years. My mother-in-law has been part of my life for half my life. I'm 40 now, and she's known me since I was a young adult. Having these routines where we're used to having. Anyway, I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. So yeah, I didn't mean to make this video that long, but I just wanted to share that. One, that's a reason why I just, I don't see people talking about it too much. People talk about it from a book standpoint and how to deal with grief, but at least right now, I can't think off the top of my head any content creators that have talked about pausing or feeling guilty about moving forward, or just moving forward in life. And like I said, it's not just in this setting, but just in general, moments where you may have a trip planned after a loved one passed, or just these major events that they would have been there for. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Am I making sense? Am I finding my words? Having fun without them, going to dinners without them, having barbecues without them, celebrations without them, beach days without them. So many things without them now. There's a part of me that feels guilty. And so one form of control I've tried to have, I guess, is by letting her memory breathe on my platform. I don't see many people talking about that. And I talked to my girlfriend, my sister, this morning, and she encouraged me to get online and do this, and said that it would probably validate and help me, as a form of healing in getting over not feeling guilty about moving forward. So that's it, y'all. I just wanted to share that. Thanks for listening. Bye.